Viticulture. No wine education would be complete without an understanding of viticulture. Wine begins in the vineyard. Location and geography, climate, topography and aspect, soil, grape varieties planted, and all viticultural practices affect wine style and wine quality. The majority of the wine world exists within the latitudinal wine-growing zones, which are 30 degrees to 50 degrees north of the equator and 30 degrees and 50 degrees south of the equator. Location and geography help a viticulturist determine where to plant grapevines. This includes knowing which country and which region within that country a varietal will perform its best in. Specific site selection, such as being planted on a hillside or on a flat plain or in a valley, are also important determining factors for a viticulturist to consider. Ice wines are just one example of how location and geography are important considerations when determining which styles of wine are being produced. Ice wines require varietals that must be able to tolerate extended growing seasons while continuing to concentrate sugars for the production of this style of sweet wines. Climate may refer to the macroclimate, the regional climate of a broad area, the mesoclimate, the climate of a particular vineyard site, and the microclimate, the environment directly surrounding the individual grapevine or the canopy. Climate is tied into location and geography. It is important to remember that climate and weather are not the same. Climate refers to a specific growing area and is a feature that is consistent year in and year out. There is yearly weather and vintage variation. These variations will become important to know when selecting the best wines, as a dry or rainy season or cold fronts and heat waves can have a profound impact on wine quality. Topography refers to the lay of the land and where the actual vineyard is planted. Varietal expression can be greatly manipulated by topography, as vineyards can be planted on flat ground or on hillsides. This is where the idea of aspect comes into play, as aspect refers to the direction that a slope faces to receive the optimal amount of sunlight necessary, and is one of the most important terms in viticulture. Ripening, phenolics, sugars, and yield can all be determined by aspects. All soils are different in chemical and mineral composition and in drainage and water retention ability. Different grapevines will thrive in different types of soil. The wines of Bordeaux are a classic example of how different soils and gravels can produce radically different wines even within a small region. The soil and terroir of Bordeaux are split into two types. The left bank of Bordeaux is predominantly gravel-based, while the right bank of Bordeaux is clay and limestone-based. Determining which grape varieties to plant is based on previously stated factors as well as which area of the world a viticulturist wants to plant in. There are many growing regions in the world with strict laws regarding which grapes may be planted within an appellation. These laws will be covered more extensively in future courses. Wine begins in the vineyard.